The Marketing Monsters Academy is proud to be hosting this channel along with Loea. The Marketing Monsters Academy provides business marketing strategies for introverts and invisible coaches, consultants, and virtual assistants. In episode 1, we introduced you to our 5 monsters and how they keep us up at night. In episode 2, we connected the monsters to the top 10 reasons why online businesses fail. In today's episode, we'll focus on 15 easy strategies you can use to kick these monsters to the curb and increase your confidence. During this episode, we'll focus on how to kick them to the curb with grace and style so that you no longer will operate from a place of fear, but from a place of possibilities that work for your quiet soul. How does that sound? Do you remember the number one reason why most online businesses fail that we discussed? That's right. The number one reason is a lack of confidence. Whether you're starting a new business or have been operating for years, your confidence has been zapped in one way or another. And these are the pesky monsters that zap our confidence every time. We have Rennie, Faye, Gabby, Avery, and Gerke. So let's start today's episode talking about Avery, the technology monster. Now, Avery means well and knows you need a solid foundation on which to build and thrive in your business. However, Avery can cause you to go overboard with technology and you end up not being as organized as you intended. He may have you chasing those shiny objects that leaves you with a lot of technology that you don't know how to use or can't figure out which ones to use to be organized in the best way. I've been down that road. So here are the top 3 strategies I think every business owner should take as a way to kick Avery to the curb and become more organized in your business. First and foremost, decide on a name for your business and make sure that the domain name is available. Many times I have worked with clients who had never thought about the name for their business, but when they sat down and did the work, then they found out that domain wasn't available. So they had to go back and think about another name and then do the search. So make sure that if you have a name for your business, that there's a domain available along the same name. If it's not, then you have some work to do. All right, so let's say you get the name of your business. Next, you want to make sure that you can protect that name and can do business in your area with that name. So what you'll do is decide, am I going to be incorporated as an S Corp or a C Corp, or am I going to be an LLC? Talk with a tax professional in your area about your situation and let them help you decide which would be the best designation for your business. And then with that information, you want to go down to your state's attorney's office or the Secretary of State, or maybe even in my place it was the city office, and you go and you do a search on your business name to see if anybody else is using that name and doing business in your local area. If that name search comes back free and clear, now you're ready to go ahead, and if you can get a license, or if you're required to have a license with your city, county, or state, you can do so. Just make sure that the name you file is going to be the same name you're going to use on your business checking account. So if you're filing as an S Corp or a C Corp, you'll want to put Inc., I-N-C, at the end of your business name. If you're going to choose LLC, then you're going to put the LLC at the end of your business name. And you want to make sure you file it that way, because if you try to do it later, you'll pay an additional fee to change the name. when you could have done it right up front. And then the third piece is getting your EIN or employer identification number from the IRS. This number will protect you in so many ways, but first and foremost, it lets your clients, prospects, even other companies know that you are serious about your business and plan on hanging around for a while. Secondly, an EIN says you can take charges, damages against me to this point here. Anything applied to my business through this number, but anything about me and my life is off limits. The EIN protects you that way. So please, please don't be using your Social Security number as that number that you set up with your bank account for your business. Use your EIN. When you work with other people, give them your EIN. You don't need your Social Security number floating around, right, with all the identity theft threats there are out there. So be smart and take these 3 steps to get your business started right. Having a name for your business and determining how to file your name is the first step to organizing your business and systems. When you have the right systems and processes in place, you will increase your confidence in how you manage your business, meet prospects, and onboard clients. All right, so be sure to keep your online profiles and websites up to date by scheduling a quarterly check of the links and purchase buttons, anything where someone else can click through. Check that those are not broken. Broken or outdated links on a site can lead to abandons, which may result in lost business. Ensuring your online profiles are up to date will increase your visibility to the right prospects. So the next monster we'll discuss is FAE, the networking monster. FAE is the biggest monster that introverts have to face because most networking events involve large crowds of people with little room for engagement. So FAE is really good at convincing us that we don't need to go. But I have some tips here for helping you kick FAE to the curb. So no matter where you go, no matter how you show up, you've got to have a professional photo taken. If you want to be taken seriously, invest in a professional photo. Once you've established yourself, you could go back and get different kinds of photos, but always have a professional photo because people who don't know you are going to want to showcase you, and you need to have the right kind of photo. Selfies are fine for casual photos and sharing on social media, but you want to have at least one professional photo. Write your 30-second elevator speech. It may seem old-fashioned, but if you at least know how to introduce yourself when someone says, "What do you do?" and you can be concise and do it in 30 seconds, and you're very specific, it'll go a long way towards that, continuing that conversation. So here are 4 things I want you to keep in mind when you write your 30-second elevator speech. Answer these questions. Who do you serve? Number 1, who do you serve? Number 2, what problems do you address? Number 3, how do you solve the problem? And number 4, what benefit your customer gains by working with you? All right? So I'll give you an example. Hi, I'm Kim Gray. I'm the Introvert Marketing Coach, and I work with introvert and invisible coaches, virtual assistants, and consultants who want to increase their marketing presence online but don't have a clue how to do it. And by working together, we develop a customized marketing strategy that works for them. Right? Okay, and increases their confidence and blah, 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 blah. All right, so do the same thing. All you have to do is make it simple, keep it simple, and make it concise. Now, If you're going to use your cell phone for your business and you're going to share that with other people, then you want to make sure that that message is professional. And so you want to record the voice message while smiling to give your voice warmth and strength. You want to make sure that you encourage the callers to leave a message and to visit your website. Thank them for calling and let them know how soon you will be in touch. Now, if you can't afford a separate phone line, which most of us don't have a landline, and most of us have a cell phone, you're going to have to decide that you're going to have to, if you don't have two cell phones, one for your business and one for your personal, then you'll have to make sure that your business voicemail is on your primary phone line. Have you ever worked for a company where you had to beg and plead for professional development? Well, you don't want to be that boss, right? You're the boss of your company. So take the time to invest in your professional development, especially as a business manager of an online business. You need to find out how the experts or those who have been around have been doing it, how they started, what is it that they use, what are the strategies that they suggest. Attend the workshops where the topics of interest for you are being covered and connect with people who have walked in the shoes that you're trying to put on. Become your best boss and invest in your professional development. Okay? It's another way for you to get organized and feel like confident in your business. When you know your voice and the voice of your customer, having conversations like this one will be very easy. You'll no longer shudder when someone asks, "What do you do?" Because they always ask that, don't they? When you know that your website speaks to your audience, you'll be confident with sharing it with others. I've had a lot of clients tell me that they're embarrassed by their website, so they don't ever give it out. Don't be that client. Go ahead and make sure that your ducks are in a row on your website. And when your back office is organized to manage any of the new prospects or clients, you'll feel confident with sharing the information, with sharing the process if they ask, "So how does this work?" You'll be able to walk them through it, instilling confidence in them about you. Now let's shift our focus to our next monster, Gabby, the target market monster. One of the biggest challenges that coaches, virtual assistants, and consultants face is deciding on a target market, niche, or specialty because they're afraid of missing out on business opportunities. And I'm here to tell you that shouldn't be one of your fears because there is so much more business available inside that selective or limited market. You'd be surprised. You must know some basics about your target market in order for them to find you and for you to find them. I want you to learn how to drive your own bus and take charge of your own business. And I have the perfect masterclass coming up for you in another episode. So here's some strategies I use for kicking my Gabby to the curb. Define your target market in terms of demographics like male, female, certain age, certain location, right? And then life circumstances. The life circumstance is so important because here is where you get to understand the voice of your customer. Once you understand your voice, then you'll know who that customer is. What is that life circumstance that you're trying to help them overcome, achieve, change, right? And then create a unique service position. You may think that the market is flooded with other coaches or professionals doing what you want to do, meeting the needs of that particular audience. But don't be misled. That's not true. Each of those people can only work with so many clients, and so can you. You can't work with the hundreds of clients that are probably available in your market, but you can work with a handful, right? So what makes you unique that that group would want to come and work with you? Knowing where your target market hangs out online will help you determine which social media marketing accounts to use. So, bottom line, no one can speak your voice. Only you can define it. And only you can define who you want to serve. What is that passion? What is it that drove you to open your doors besides, I want to be my own boss? Your authentic voice, it needs to be apparent, it needs to be evident, right? And you need to be able to speak this with passion. Speaking from your heart to your audience will increase your credibility and confidence. Plus, when you have your business identity, it helps with writing your web copy, your marketing materials, and so forth. When you write your marketing materials, you're going to establish a want, you're going to establish the need, and then you're going to fill in the middle, bridge the gap, so that you give a little bit of both. So for Gabby says you have a website, you don't need anything else. I'm here to tell you she is wrong. If you don't have SEO built into your website design, it will be hard for prospective customers to find you. We talked about SEO last episode, but here I want you to understand that your marketing strategy involves the recipe of activities you use to keep your business in front of your market. Marketing isn't an event. It's a vital business function. And you can see how the pieces fit together in this video image. And lastly, you don't need to be everywhere online. You don't have to be you don't have to be on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. You don't have to be on all of them. But you do need to show up where your target market hangs out on a consistent basis, and you show up on a consistent basis. You want to create your online presence where you show up consistently. Consistently means they see you regularly, right? It's not once a year. It's not only when you have something to sell. You want to have an opportunity to share all the time. I set mine up, I use RecurPost, which sends my posts to all my accounts on a rotating basis. All I have to do is set it up and determine the scheduling, push go, and it continues to happen. And then I can go on and do other things because posting online is not something I want to do on my own. I don't love it, but I can get it set up, set it, and then let it go. You should do the same. All right, so our next monster is Gurkey, the growth monster. Now, Gurkey knows your business is doing well and that you want to expand your reach. But Gurkey plants doubts that makes you feel like others wouldn't find you a viable joint venture partner for a variety of reasons. Say because maybe you feel your list is small, your network isn't as big, your experience is lacking, things like that. Hold on. Well, here's some strategies for kicking Gurkey to the curb. These are my introvert win strategies. For example, what is it we introverts do well? We listen and we build strong relationships. So we're great at establishing friendly relationships. As coaches, we have the additional gift of knowing how to ask inquiring questions and having a two-way conversation. All right? So that's something we do naturally and instinctively. Introvert win. Second, see yourself as credible. So credibility is in the eye of the beholder, and it starts with you. You started your business because you believed you had something to share, your gift. So no one else can do you. No one else can beat you, right? And no one else can deliver what you bring to the table in the same way that you do. Granted, it may seem like everyone's doing the same thing, but it's not about that we're doing the same thing. It's that we're getting different results. It's that we have a different attraction to our market, right? So whatever that is for you, that unique piece we talked about earlier, that's what's going to make you credible. That's what makes you credible to your target market. It's so much better to have 100 people on your list that are responsive, show up, and support you than to have 5,000 that you never see, that never come. So don't worry about the size of your list. It's the health of your list, the health of your network. So don't just look at the list, but look at your network of connections online that you're making to see how credible you really are. All right. Here's another introvert win. Position your ideas in a way that addresses what others need rather than what you want, because persuasion is about showing others what's in it for them. Create your circle of peers who cheerlead with you and for you, who can be your devil's advocate and with whom you can do the same. You don't need everybody to support you. You just need the right people with the right connections to be part of your peer circles. Now, this is the part where you might run from the room with your hair on fire, running from the room with your hair on fire. Don't do that. Listen, I need you to keep a close watch on what your competition is doing, even as your business grows and thrives. So don't discount the competition. And please don't think that nobody else is doing what you're doing, because they do. There are. So do the research by visiting competitor websites to learn which circumstances they cover, what voices their market hears, and how you can fill in the gap with your products and services. And you want to stay on top of this because trends change, right? And you don't want to be the one doing things old school when the new school way of doing things emerges. And when you post or write something, make sure that it's helpful and valuable. And if you're going to share online, don't just share because you want to create noise or buzz around you, but that it's something that adds credibility to who you are. Choose the most interesting, memorable, or dramatic ways to bring your ideas to life and why your idea is in their best interest. So our last monster is Rennie, the procrastinator. But Rennie really is the number one most common monster, not only among introverts, but extroverts too. Everybody wants things to be perfect before we move forward. So if you're looking to decrease your procrastination, because it's not going to go away completely, here are some tips I use to kick my Rennie to the curb. I create a 12-month marketing plan. Maybe I don't write it down. Yes, I do, because I have a calendar. I put it in my calendar. And that way it helps me to be able to commit to my business and reduce my procrastination. It helps to set your tone for how much you want to share, when you want to share it, and then it helps plan accordingly. Or for some of my coaches, it's what is it you want to, what do you want to host? When do you want to host it? And then we can back into how do we make that happen. Work on the things you care about. There's nothing worse than procrastinating on a task simply because you either don't know how to do it or you don't want to do it. Perfect. If you can look at the things that you aren't doing because you don't know how to or you don't want to, then you need to go get some help. Love doing what you want to do, but then let someone else who loves doing what you don't, let them do that. That's why virtual assistants are so vital. You're going to get one sooner or later. And you can be very specific about how you want them to support you and what you want them to do that you're not willing to do. So when you can separate emotion from reality, then give the tasks you don't love, but no need to be done, to someone who loves doing it. You know, we introverts are perfectionists, and we don't want to launch anything until it is absolutely perfect, which means a lot of great ideas never make it to the market, and that's a crying shame. So here's what I want you to think about instead. Launch whatever you have because it's good enough so that it can help and serve others. Gain feedback as you work through it. Make notes and then make those modifications for the next time you launch. Don't let this one launch be the only launch. Let it be the first one, and then the next one will be so much better. I want you to think in terms of little wins. If looking at the big picture overwhelms you, break it down into smaller steps. Then tackle the tiny steps one by one, celebrating each victory along the way. So let's review. In episode 1, you were introduced to my 5 monsters and their personalities. And in episode 2, you learned 10 reasons why most online businesses fail and how you can avoid them. And then in episode 3, today, you were given 15 simple strategies you can use and apply towards kicking your monsters to the curb with style and grace. Now what I want you to do is figure out which monster you're going to focus on and then find a strategy there that you can use. Don't try and do all 15 at the same time. You'll get overwhelmed, all right? I don't want you to have an overwhelmed moment and end up in a Remy with Rennie sitting there looking at you. All right, so be kind to yourself. Pick one monster, pick one strategy, see how it works, and then go to the next. Now that you've had a chance to determine which monsters are affecting your business health and growth, stay tuned for our next masterclass series, How to Zero In on Your Ideal Client. Thank you for watching this episode of the Marketing Monsters Academy, and feel free to reach out and learn more about the Academy on our website. Find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, and listen to us on our podcast. Until next time, take the Marketing Monsters quiz and get tips for kicking your monster to the curb with grace and style using the URL listed.